Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing well out there in Heatland, and I appreciate you stopping by. So, I got to get to this. I wanted to get to it yesterday. Silly me. I waited a day, and I feel like I got the I'm playing catch up now. But did you guys see what graced the internet in the last 24 hours? Jović, dude. Wow. And I mean, wow. If you want to, you want to talk about Serbian Terminator. This dude, whoo. He looks jacked to the gills working out in Serbia. So much so that even the Miami Heat admin wanted to make a post about it today. And I got to say, thank you, admin. I appreciate you guys going out there and recognizing the gun show that has developed for Nikola Jović. Looking absolutely muscles on top of muscles working out in Serbia. I got to say, I follow his trainer on Instagram. I guess this is the TAR Health and Performance account. And that is, it's very Serbian, the middle name on this. So Nikola Kalajic Tower? Oof, I probably butchered that. The point is, go to Nico's Instagram. I think you can find it under pictures tagged or whatever, but they have been putting up a lot of the stuff of Jović training, and Jović put up some pics on his Instagram over the last couple of days, and I was like, whoa, dude. He looks like he's already getting himself into tremendous shape. And I'm very curious about the future of Nikola Jović because I think anybody who watches this channel, listens to my radio show, knows my feelings. I am a big-time Jović fan, and it was posted today on Heat Twitter, his workout videos of him working out. And, man, I just don't want the Miami Heat to part with this guy. I really don't. What is he, turning 22 next month? Still a whippersnapper, going into the last year of his rookie deal, I believe. Extension eligible if they wanted to do that. I'm curious to see what becomes of that because I acknowledge it's a little bit of an unknown. He's such a fascinating player, though. And the things that I love about Nico, dude is super accountable, okay? Very hard on himself. But also busts his ass, as you can see by the working out, willing to fit in, right? Like happy to provide roles where he can, and even said like, yeah, I settled into the 6-man role in life because I acknowledge he's a little bit of a weird fit for everybody. It's like he doesn't fit necessarily with any starting unit, but he fits in perfectly throughout a rotation of a game. And I do think back to that game too, the Miami Heat almost won. Such a loser prize, but I thought he was so critical in just bringing the juice in that game and nearly having the Miami Heat in a good spot. And then, of course, he couldn't hit the broadside of Barton because he was shooting with a freshly recovered broken hand. He didn't have his shot with him. And so I posted today on social media my thoughts for the offseason because we were having this Zion debate on the radio show. And you guys, like I said, I tell you usually before every show, go to the 560 WQM YouTube page. You can watch Tobin and Leroy every single day. And we got into this like half-hour debate about Zion Williamson. And I really like the Miami Heat's idea of trading for Zion Williamson. But one of the things that I love about it is I'd imagine the Miami Heat could do that probably with giving up a pick, maybe later down the road. I don't know what the Pelicans, if they want 20, but maybe they want something down the road. We'd see. Or maybe they're good with 20 and Jaquez and, whatever the salary would be, whether it be Wiggins, Rozier, Duncan, whatever that triumvirate. And I'm thinking this in the realm of like, I've really been trying to rack my brain on like, all right, the Giannis thing, bit of a pipe dream, right? We acknowledge, even though I will say, Chris Haynes, where is my Giannis breakup meeting, dude? You reported this weekend that the Bucks and Giannis were going to meet. I see videos of him in San Francisco. By my count, it's almost Friday. No one's having a Friday work meeting. That's ridiculous. Nobody does that, not even in basketball. Where is my Giannis meeting, dude? So I don't know what's going to happen with Giannis. I don't know what's going to happen with KD. There was a report this week from Jake Fisher. They may not move on from KD. Nah, I think that's a leverage play. They want to seem like they're strong. The thing that's interesting with Zion, and I was even just double checking this because I feel like I have a pretty good pulse of the rumors that are out there. I even, before I record this, which is about 6:30 on Thursday night, I gave a gander around Reddit, Pelicans Reddit. I know it does exist. And I was like, is there anything on Zion? Are they talking about Zion trades? Because I don't feel like I've heard anything on him, really. I haven't heard squat. I know that Joe Dumars took over for them. I know he's been reposted. He was their lottery representative. It almost does feel like the Pelicans might be giving the Zion thing a go because, what else they going to do? So they may not trade Zion Williamson. They may be in the spot of hey, 1 point, this is going to work in our favor. And, they're a team that got broken down with injuries this year. Has a second team all rookie. Has pieces, right? Murray, McCollum, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. They got guys that people like. That the Pelicans are not bereft of talent. So this may be one of those things that's maybe they're not going to trade Zion. But I know there was the one report that said right after the season, the first order of business is the owner wants Zion traded. So I'm going to say that he's probably going to be traded. And I just think that if the Miami Heat could go in, bring in some talent that would leave them still with Jović and Ware on the team, that would make me really happy. I mean, that would make me really happy. And yes, I'd love to have Kevin Durant, but that would probably cost the team Jović. Is that the cost of doing business? I wouldn't like it. I like Jović as a player. I really do. And I think I had a lot of people today, some people really, it was a very polarizing take because I got a lot of this guy's a scrub, this guy reeks, this guy's trash, to Tobin, this is one of your best takes. Nobody really in the middle on it. Everybody is, and eventually I have to mute the tweets because I can't take all your guys' responses respectfully. I love you guys, but it's too much. I will always hit a point on a tweet. If a tweet that I have really catches and I tweeted it in the middle of the day, it's probably getting muted after an hour. I'm not going to see your response. You might want to send it to me on Instagram or something like that because I'm probably muting the tweets. I just can't. It's too much. And I can't get in debates with everybody all day. But if it's overnight, you'll have overnight, and then I'm muting it in the morning. This one, got a couple of solid hours. I was doing the radio show. And, to the people who say he's trash, I think that's very strong. I think you're dead wrong. I know I'm holding on hope to the Steph Curry game where he cooked the Warriors and the Bucks last year. But, dude, first of all, he's 21 years old, going to be 22 next month. That's a baby. Second of all, he's been a development project from the start. So you knew 2 years were going to go into just figuring out the league, the game. The Heat have never really done the international prospect. They don't typically do the project. Darrell Wright, this is not a thing that Heat usually go to at this age group. And dude, he broke his hand. He broke his hand. It was a fluke incident. This isn't the back. I know he's been frustrated by some of the injuries that he's had, but the broken hand, what? That's Tyler. What are you supposed to do about that? It's a complete bad luck situation. And at his age, I kind of want to see the Miami Heat follow through on it because I do think he's going to be a good player. I do. I think he works hard. I know he's not the most perfect fit because ideally he'd probably just be your point guard. And he's 6'11", so that's not the most ideal thing, but he's probably the best lob thrower on the team. He's a great passer. He plays different. The things that he stinks at, he's got to take advantage of mismatches because too many guys put small bodies on him, and he can't punish that. And that's what the bulk size that. He needs to take advantage of that. And there's just not a natural half court game to him, but I felt like that stuff was starting to come, and he works, and they've really, really drilled it hard. So I'm just looking at the perspective and the prospects of if the Heat could trade for Zion Williamson and keep their 2 young bigs, I would really like that. Because I think from my standpoint, I'm watching these. I was having this conversation with Leroy before the show today, and I was like, if you really look at these playoffs, like look how many guys were either cast-offs or teams counted them out, right? Or didn't think that they could be the type of impact players that they were anymore. And Zion's a little different because he's the guy that everybody thought was an all-world talent, and he's been a bust basically because of too much eating, too many injuries, too many ladies off the court, a lot of drama, not very mature. And it is in an organization that kind of felt like it was enabling it. And now you have now you have a guy in Joe Dumars, built the Pistons, rugged defense, a bit old school. Like he didn't draft him didn't deal with him like David Griffin did. I don't think David Griffin even drafted him, right? But he dealt with him. He gave him the extension. So part of me wonders, I wonder if their chapter is going to close, although there hasn't been a lot of rumors on it lately. And if there is, do the Heat get in on that buy low game? Because you look at the Pacers, their engine right now is Tyrese Halliburton. He was traded for Domantas Sabonis, right? They had to give something to get something, but it's not even close. Like 1 year of Sabonis doing what he did as a 3 in the West, and now they're basically, the Western Conference Heat right now. And Halliburton's been amazing. And they basically did that because they thought De'Aaron Fox was going to be their franchise guy. I get why they did it. They had too much clog in the backcourt. Then you look at the Knicks. Obviously, they're anchored by Jalen Brunson. They're in a couple places. They're anchored by Jalen Brunson, who the Mavs didn't want to pay. Paid off for the Knicks. And the Wolves, Julius Randle, who everybody kind of threw out. Now they had to give up Karl-Anthony Towns, I understand, but a lot of people thought the Julius Randle thing wasn't going to work out, and he's been fantastic these playoffs. And then, of course, the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander one is hilarious because, they traded for Paul George, not even on the team anymore. So my point is, all of these guys had to see something in somebody else. And the Miami Heat, a lot of the times, have built their franchise outside of Dwayne and Bam and Tyler. A lot of their best players that they've brought in have been guys with a little bit of baggage. I guess the big three, no, although LeBron did have the non-winning baggage. I know what that sounds like. I'm just saying, LeBron, for the kids who don't remember, one of the reasons LeBron was looked upon as such a coward for coming to the Miami Heat is because he couldn't beat the Celtics by himself. He was looked upon that he quit and was thought of as this guy's never going to win. And he went to Dwayne Wade, the winner's place, to learn to win. So I understand. LeBron's not a great example because he doesn't have a lot of baggage, but he did have a lot of non-winning demons. So I'm not going to count him. But Zoe, not the perfect prospect. They didn't want to pay him. The Hornets were kind of moving on in another direction without him. They took advantage of it, right? They're trash. Another mention. Tim Hardaway, knee cooked, right? They went after him. Very beneficial for the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler. Who had more baggage than Jimmy Butler coming to the Miami Heat? Locker room cancer, problem, all stuff that did creep up eventually. But for years it was good, and it obviously benefited the Heat greatly. My point being is, and you can even do this on smaller scales with the undrafted guys, Hassan Whiteside, Dion Waiters. They have had an ability to get the best out of guys, even if it's just for a little bit. But they haven't done it with somebody with elite talent in a long time. And I really would dig the idea of bringing somebody like Zion in for a proper cost. I don't want to sell the farm for him, but there's two things that I think are great. The Heat have their pick next year. So if Zion is a fat cat and has a bad year or can't control Astron down here in Miami, then, oh well. I guess the Heat are going to be in rebuild mode, and they get to do it with being in the lottery and having their own pick. That being said, The other side of it is, man, you're adding somebody of his talent. He's kind of the age of everybody else on the Heat. Bam's the elder statesman. Figuring out whether it's a Wiggins deal or a Rozier. If you go Rozier and Duncan, the downside is, hey, those are kind of your book clearers for the next year. So you're losing that, although, paying Davion, who knows what position the Heat are going to be in with that if they have to extend Nico too. Who knows? But those are two things. Like, I get it. There's a little bit of unknown with Nikola Jović because we haven't gotten a full year of Nico being settled into a role, and he's very, very young. But I don't think the Heat are in a spot right now where they're a move away. If there are orcas that they could get, if KD's available, I'm not against it. If Giannis is available, of course, dude. If Giannis is available, by all means, go get Giannis Antetokounmpo. But let's be real about it. The Miami Heat have not exactly been keeping up in these trade races. So I do think that they got to think a little outside the box. And I get that there is risk. But if of the Jaws, the Trays, Zion's the one that excites me the most. It is. It's the one that excites me out of all the guys with a little bit of baggage and a little damaged goods. He is the guy that would excite me the most. I understand it also could be the one making me look the most foolish, but there are outs on his contract and things like that. I would be very intrigued by that. So that's what I came with away. And maybe gets in the gym with Nico. They could be workout buddies. I would like that very much.